They've already developed missiles that can threaten Europe and our bases overseas, and they're working to build missiles that will soon reach the United States of America. After Midnight Hammer, they were warned to make no future attempts to rebuild their weapons program, and in particular, nuclear weapons. Yet they continue, starting it all over. We wiped it out, and they want to start all over again, and are at this moment again pursuing their sinister ambitions. We are in negotiations with them. They want to make a deal, but we haven't heard those secret words. We will never have a nuclear weapon.
First of all, a little bit messed up of Donald Trump of saying the secret words. They're supposed to be secret. It's in the name. I think he means special words or magic words, but his mind is clearly going. And I know that not just because he said secret, but also because they have said that over and over and over and over again. The foreign minister literally tweeted it like 2 hours before Donald Trump's speech. They have repeatedly reiterated that they're not making nuclear weapons. It seemed pretty clear that they weren't doing it before you bombed them the first time. And I will remind everyone, we had a deal before Donald Trump that allowed our inspectors to actually go into the facilities so that we don't have to rely on the biggest liar in American political history's word on whether they're constituting or reconstituting their nuclear weapons. We could actually go in and check it. He decided to break that, and now he's in a bit of a difficult position. The goal is war with Iran. It really has nothing to do with nuclear weapons, at least not from our point of view. Now, Israel might well be concerned about Iranian nuclear weapons. There has never been a country more terrified of things, even fictional invented threats, than Israel. So maybe they're concerned about it. And they don't want to do the war by themselves. It's much easier and cheaper to just have us do it. So that's why we're continually demagoguing against Iran. That's why we already went to war with them last year. But the difficult position for Donald Trump is he desperately wants to pull George W. Bush and be like, they're gonna kill you and your family tomorrow. They're gonna have missiles and everything. But he also really wants credit for having destroyed their nuclear program. And he wants both of those things at the same time, but it doesn't make sense. Oh, you obliterated, you smashed it to smithereens last June. They'll never be able to recover, or will they recover? In fact, maybe those smithereens are almost a functioning missile already. Not only their nukes, but also their ICBMs. But you can't do both of those things. Now, Donald Trump is not, I think, threading that needle very well, but it isn't just on Donald Trump, because he has a lot of goons, lackeys that are also doing the best they can, which generally isn't very good, to explain why we need to blow to further smithereens the smithereens we blew last year. Here is GOP Senator Markwayne Mullin, last seen trying to tear a sign out of the hands of Representative Al Green at the State of the Union. But take a look.
Given what the American people heard from the administration, not just last summer, but since then, how would you explain to them the urgency and the administration's posture now on Iran and this kind of, we hope the talks work. If not, we're prepared to take action.
Well, we made it very clear that we would never allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. And we tried to, underneath the Bush administration, the Biden administration, and the Obama administration, they tried to negotiate the enrichment process and for peaceful energy development. But we also knew the whole time that Ayatollah was chanting death to America and was building these delivery systems where they could deliver a nuclear weapon. And then we found out their enrichment was reaching that percentage point to where there was a point of no return. So as long as the Ayatollah is going to continue to try to rebuild the system that he said he wasn't going to do. That's why we ended the 12-day war, because they said they were done trying to build a nuclear weapon, yet they're obviously trying to rebuild it. Right, we're not going to let that happen.
So Kaitlan Collins is good at her job, so she's gonna have follow-ups. We'll get to that in just a sec. But Markwayne Mullin said the word obviously there. And I would love to know what he thinks that word means. What obviously? What are you talking about obviously? Now, he's a dumb man. I don't think that he really knows what he's saying. I don't think he knows how ridiculous this argument is, that we just blew it to smithereens, but now, well, the Ayatollah said a mean thing or whatever, so I guess we need to go to war. He's not allowed to be mean on social media. I mean, Donald Trump has repeatedly said that he would destroy the entire country and everything, but we're allowed to be mean. He's not allowed to be mean, so I guess we should spend another couple $100 billion or whatever. The argument doesn't make sense, and it will probably make even less sense as he expands on it. Take a look.
If we obliterated it, we being the United States last summer, then why are you worried about it right now?
Because they're rebuilding it, and you can see them rebuilding it.
But it was
not
obliterated.
enriching. Well, but it doesn't mean you can't rebuild. I mean, people have car accidents and obliterate their bones and their legs, and yet they can still put, metal back in them and walk again.
But I think if it was obliterated in June, how is it February, and we're now, as Steve Witkoff put it, a week away from Iran having this?
I don't know. I can't speak for Steve. I haven't got those reports, and I've been read in on some of these programs, and so I don't know what Steve was looking at. I don't say he's wrong or right. I just haven't seen those reports.
Yeah, I don't think you have seen those reports. I also don't think Steve Witkoff has seen those reports because I don't think they're reports. I think Steve Witkoff is just saying whatever he wants in the same way that you are. Kaitlan Collins has a very good point. What does obliterated mean if you could just say, well, they could eventually rebuild it? Yeah, but like in 6 months? So like, let's say that we bomb them again and we destroy it again. Are we gonna have to do it in another week? What is the point of any of this if you are never gonna feel confident for literally a second? Yeah, no, I understand that things someday can be rebuilt. Nuclear programs, leg bones. Markwayne Mullin clearly was dropped on his head a lot as a child, and he was able to reconstitute his brain to the point where he can almost approximate human speech. But that doesn't mean that we need to go to war, especially in the complete and utter absence of any evidence that they're close to producing a nuclear weapon. Steve Witkoff hasn't seen a report. Nobody's seen a report. Jackson, are you concerned about us launching another war? What do you make of the argument that you saw right there, that you saw at the State of the Union?
Yeah, I mean, who knows what Donald Trump is going to have ordered, period. And despite the fact that the Republicans are almost certainly going to get wiped out in the coming midterms, Donald Trump has been doing pretty much everything via the executive branch. So he's still going to be doing all types or carrying out all types of illegal actions regardless. And also keep in mind, as we all know, Barack Obama with his Iran nuclear deal had everything in place, and Donald Trump took it away for no other reason than because Barack Obama did it. That's it. And so he's already invaded a sovereign country, taken Maduro. He's threatening the whole world over. And then even like with what's going on in Mexico right now, a lot of the reason that Sheinbaum went ahead and took out El Mencho is because of pressure from the United States. And this could end up being an excuse for us to invade Mexico because the United States has assets there. So this man, he's completely deranged. He's completely insane. We've already struck Iran. I think that we should take his threats very seriously. Yeah. If he says that he's gonna run in somewhere, he's already done it, he's probably gonna do it. And one of the dangerous things about the fact that he's cornered against the wall right now, he's riddled with dementia, he's just gonna get worse. And we still have 3 years left of this. So yeah, I think we're in a really dangerous spot right now. And I think nobody should be surprised if we do strike Iran again, if we have boots on the ground. Anything that he does in regards to war, I think that it should be 100% not a surprise.
Yeah, no, I would be worried too. He's very aggressive, he's very scared. Yeah, taking out the drug lords though, did you know though? You can reconstitute a cartel. What's the point? I mean, they could bring in another person. They can make some more drugs. And now in a week, we'll have to do it again. Like look at the Venezuelan government. We took out the leader, vice president slots right in. They've reconstituted the Maduro regime.
And again, the market hasn't disappeared either in terms of like the routes for drugs to get here, and we're the ones doing them. So like if our drug laws perpetuate all of this, but let's not focus on that. Let's just keep the war alive.